Hey everybody, hope you're having a good Sunday. I was running around and noticed the countdown was almost done. I was like, oh no, had to go find me some water. I'm like, okay, I had to have a drink of water real quick. My cup says chaos coordinator, so you know, it fits me well. What can I say? Okay, put that down. Hey y'all, I hope you've had a good weekend and I hope you had a good week last week. I don't know. It's just been kind of crazy lately. I don't know if it's because it's officially spring and just, last year so much was different for everybody because spring was not its normal, usual busy self. But I don't know. It just seems like there's just stuff going on every time I turn around. So if you're logged on with me, say hello in the comments. I would love to see your hellos. I'd say your happy smiling faces, but um, actually I'm the only one on camera, so I can't see your happy smiling face. I can see your profile pictures though, so that will work. Send me a hello if you are with me this afternoon or evening. I keep saying afternoon because it's still daylight outside, and so it's kind of throwing me off. So all right. This week, I finished up a technique workshop. It was 3 days. I've done 2 weeks of these now. Well, one of them, well, it was techniques, but last week, um, it was on canvas. And so that was pretty cool because I got to learn some things about canvas painting that I um, have been interested in. I did a little bit when I did my three magnolias on canvas, and that's actually, you can't see it, it's behind me, hanging up on the wall. It's actually over, let's see if I can twist this and show you. You still can't see it. It's actually above that door hanger, and so I've got it hanging on the wall over there. But I did that just playing around, just to see, hey, what's it like to paint on canvas? And it kind of like door hangers, I kind of got hooked. So I found a workshop with Canvas, and I took that actually week before last, and then technically this last week, I did three techniques, just techniques in general, but they were on wood, so those could be used on door hangers, or you can use them on canvas. So either way, so that worked out pretty good. We did an animal print. We also did a floral, and we did um, farmhouse rustic stripes, and so that was pretty neat. I actually got to use the rustic stripes on a door hanger this past week, and I can't show it to you yet because it hasn't been delivered. So I have to wait till they're delivered and then I can post pictures, but that will be coming up this week because it will be delivered this week. So excited to show you that one because I really like the way it turned out. So that'll be coming up. And then I've got another class coming up that I want to take, and uh, I'm excited about it because it's gonna force me to do some lettering stuff, and I am just unsure about the lettering because I just don't have enough confidence in my own handwriting. So I'm on edge with the lettering one, but that's okay. I you know we're gonna do it, and it's gonna be good. All right, so tonight, what's on the crafting table? Well, if you noticed all the little captions and things that I posted earlier, and also in the description of this video, we are doing a summer theme. Oh, I've got my egg cart in the middle of it. And we're doing flip flops tonight. Now, if you've seen some of the flip flops I have done a lot of polka dot flip flops. Okay, in the past, and I have done some stripes. I did some that were patriotic with the red and white stripe and the um, blue straps. And I think I put little white polka dots on it. Wanted stars, but Eh, I didn't push my luck, so I did polka dots. So tonight, I'm actually going to use one of the techniques I learned this past week, and we are going to do a floral pair of flip-flops. So um, I mentioned last week I have a summer themed in person paint party coming up. And so I invited those folks to join in this evening and check out another option for another idea for a summer door hanger. So I'm trying to give them ideas for a couple of weeks here in preparation for that. So that's why we've kind of jumped ahead to summer. But I've got some other things coming up in the weeks ahead. And oh, big thing. Uh, Mailbox Delight. Happy mail in your mailbox. To be registered for that giveaway. Every month now, I'm going to be doing this giveaway. So, to be in the giveaway, all you have to do is sprinkle the love to friends and family for the video and then comment sprinkled. And what I will do is coming up here in just a few days, because the month's almost over with, I will be putting everyone's name in the giveaway hat and, or actually on the giveaway wheel. It's all done online now. So spin the wheel and I will be choosing a winner. Well, actually, the program will be choosing a winner, but I'll be announcing the winner. So I'll get to do that this week as we, can you believe we're wrapping up the month of March? I'm kind of, yeah, and then I'm kind of, no. It doesn't really seem like we just started the year, but I don't feel like we're quite to March yet. So I don't know. Anyway, all right. Well, let's get into our floral technique here on tonight's What's on My Crafting Table. Got to check all my little techie things and make sure everything's working. All right, so I am actually going, you notice the black lines are drawn for the straps, okay? But there's no floral on this one, okay? So I'm going to jump out and show you something that I learned this week. And some of you may be like, oh my goodness. Don't panic. It's okay. You can do this. I can do this. We can do this. Okay. All right. My bracelets traveled up my arm and I can't. I don't know what it is about a bracelet that gets stuck up my arm. I feel like my arm, is being held captive or something. I'm like, let go. All right, so what I'm going to start out doing, we're going to work on some flowers. We're going to do a few daisies, and we're also going to do a few rose type flowers. We'll say full bloom flowers just for the sake of that. So I'm just going to kind of look here, and one thing you can do to kind of help is if you want to just mark it into four and think about where you'd like to place flowers in the four areas. Now, it doesn't have to be in the center of each of the four, okay? So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, and I am using a piece of chalk. I can't use white chalk because I painted it white already. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with this one, and so I went ahead and painted it white so it would be ready to go. So I'm going to use yellow chalk to draw out my lines. Now, chalk is pretty cool because if I look at this and go, I don't like that flower, then all I got to do is grab a baby wipe and erase it. Works a lot better than pencil. So here we go. All right, so just looking at my four areas here, what I want to do, and in this one, I've got to keep in mind that if I want to draw my imaginary line right here so that, my flip-flops are kind of overlapping each other, because I don't want to put a flower right there in the middle, because then that's going to look weird. It'll look like somebody cut the flower in half when they made the flip-flops. So try not to have that happen. All right, so I'm going to start with my daisies because they're pretty easy. I'm going to do 3 to 5 petals. So first I'm going to draw the center, okay? So I'm just going to put the center out there. So I'm going to start up here in the corner and got to put my egg carton somewhere so I can do this. So I'm going to draw just the center. Okay? So there's the center. If you can see that, there's the center. All right, now I'm going to start with my petals. So I'm going to draw this one as it's going off the flip-flop, okay? And then I'm going to come up here and draw one. And if you notice, it's not going to be complete because the strap's in the way, but that's okay. Now I'm going to come up and do another one. And again, this one, I'm just going to pick my chalk up and just follow it around and just pretend like I drew it underneath the strap there. Okay? So there's one sunflower, and that one ended up with 4 petals. So I said I was going to keep it odd numbers, but that one ended up with 4, so it's okay. We'll go with that one. All right, now I'm probably going to come opposite down to this one. And in this quadrant, and I'm not going to necessarily put it in the corner. When I did my letter M this week, if you happen to see my letter M that I posted with the floral print on it, I actually ended up with all the opposite corners. And I thought, man, I wished I would have moved them up just a little bit so that it didn't look like the big stuff was in the 4 corners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this sunflower or daisy, not sunflower, daisy. I'm going to move this one a little bit up because I don't want it to be right in the bottom and look identical to this one. Okay. All right. So I'm going to move this one up. This means the petals are going to be a little bit different on this one. So I'm going to put my center here. And you can also make the center bigger. So like if you wanted the center to be almost full and you wanted it to almost look like it was a full flower there, you could do that too. Now keep in mind, when we're doing this, you could draw over, I mean, if it makes it easier, you could draw over just like this and just make a big loop and then simply grab a baby wipe. And I've got some, you know me, I've got some handy because either I'm wiping paint off of me or I'm wiping paint off of my door hanger, one of the two. So what you could do is you could come right back and just wipe off in between if that is easier. Either way, this one's going to be a bigger flower than that one. That's okay too. I wanted a bigger flower on this one. So I'm going to come here and come out and come down. And then I'm going to come up with another one. And another one. And another one. But that one's not going to make as much of a petal as the other. So this one ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one ended up with 5 petals. Now, I know the chalk is a little bit hard to see, so I'll hold it up. But you can see how the flowers are different sizes. All right, now, this time I am going to do some rose-looking flowers. I call them fluffy flowers or full bloom flowers, I guess is actually a better word for them. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to work on this in these 2 quadrants. You could put one, if you wanted to put one kind of off in the center of this one, you could, but I think I'm going to stick, with just a couple of them on this one. All right, so for these, I'll just go ahead and tell you, you're just trying to make something that looks kind of like drawing a cloud, if that makes sense. So, you know, when you draw a cloud, you're just kind of loop, 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 loop. Okay. Now I'm going to try to keep it to an odd number of loops just so that way to me, it's just easier with an odd number. I don't know. I did 4 on the top one up here, but it's okay. It doesn't always work out the way you planned it, but it's all right. We can get through this. We can do this. So I'm going to do one there and come down and there and there. So I'm just going to do this one on the bottom as 3. And I know the yellow is a little hard to see in this light. It actually shows up really well for me. All right, now I'm going to come up here on this one. And I don't think I'm going to stick him off on the side, so he won't look just like this one, okay? I think I'm going to come more in the middle here. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So I didn't really make that one a bold mark, but there's 3 there. Now, I could come into the middle part, like right here, and I could do something small. could do something small. Just a small little, just so I can keep up with where this is going to end. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I drew right through the strap. Okay. But now I'm going to go back and I'm going to just wipe it off with a baby wipe on that strap. So that way the strap stays clear of the flower. Now, I could, because there's 3 of those flowers, I could come back and do something else over here, but I think I'm just going to wait. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to work on some vines and leaves and things like that. So I could bring one up here and just kind of curl him around. And you could just make some little round leaves that come up like that. And then you could have one come down and around over on the side. And you could actually just make a leaf. Just make a leaf. Now, as we start to fill all of this in, you're going to see more and more as the color gets filled in, and it'll stand out. Now on this one, I'm going to pull some leaves down here, but I'm also going to pull some up here. So I'm just going to make a little curly Q there. And I've got one down here, but on this one, I'm going to draw some kind of heart-shaped leaves. Yep, you know what? That's not going to work. I got to remember. Remember I told y'all, remember the imaginary line through here? Okay. All right, so I just added a couple of curly Qs at the bottom. Get it up here where you can see. And then up here, add another big leaf. Oh, I did that wrong. I went the wrong way on the leaf. Oh my goodness. See, this is why baby wipes are a wonderful thing. So I'm going to add a leaf here. Just going to bring him up and let him be there. He'll go in between the leaf or the petals on that flower. And then I can add another one there. And I can add a few leaves there. And we can always add more as we go, as we see what we need. All right, so I think that will cover that. So let us see now what we can do. I momentarily lost my egg carton there. Okay, let me check, make sure everything looks okay. Yes, it looks like we are doing well. So let's get started. I am going to start with the background color of Sea Breeze. And so I've got some kind of crazy colors that I'm going to be kind of using, but that's okay. We are good with crazy colors sometimes. All right, so I am going to start my video here because I'm going to time lapse it, and then that way I can show that later on. Now you might be thinking, oh my goodness, Sandy, you've got so much stuff that you've got to go around on here. It's okay. I can actually paint over and come back if I need to and draw it again. It just gave me an idea of what I want to do. So I can do one of two things. I can watch and avoid my lines, except for painting in petals. Painting in petals is not allowed. We cannot paint in petals. Petals have to be another color. Okay. Yes, there will always be moments when you are focused on doing one thing and realize, oh my goodness, I completely went inside the line of that flower. That's okay. Baby wipes are a wonderful thing for those boo-boos. Not only are they a wonderful thing, but they also keep you on track. All right, so I've just got a flat brush here, flat tip brush, and it's roughly 1 inch, I think. And so I am just working my way around. One thing you could do if you did not want to draw all of this out to begin with, you could actually paint all of this the base color, which in this case is Sea Breeze, and then come back and draw the chalk lines. I'm not too worried about the chalk lines. I kind of know now what I'm going to do and where I'm going to put it, so I am just basically trying to make sure that I keep those areas kind of marked, but it's not a dire necessity, as long as you've got in your mind where you want things to be. It helps me to stay on track. Yes, I did it again. I did it again. I went right into that poor little flower. I am just determined to paint all my flowers Sea Breeze. And again, what I'm doing is using one of the techniques that I learned this week as I took a technique workshop. It's another thing that's been going on a good bit here the last few weeks and into the spring months. There seems to be more classes and workshops and boot camps and things like that going on. And so it's been really neat to be able to work on picking up some different skills and perfecting on some skills that I'm kind of like the writing, some things that I need to practice on. And sometimes you just get busy with taking care of all the day-to-day stuff. And so you don't necessarily work on your skills and perfecting them or improving. And that's in any area of life, not just painting techniques. Be anything from getting exercise on a daily basis or getting into devotion time and prayer time, anything like that. Maybe just organizing your calendar and making sure you're good to go. One thing I really like about the Sea Breeze color is that it really doesn't require a ton of coats. It covers pretty well the first time. So I'm just kind of looking over and touching up a little bit here and a little bit there. just making sure that everything's even. Welcome to Facebook Live. You never know. Some weeks I've got the dryer going. Some weeks you get to hear. Yes, we still actually have a house phone. So if you're wondering, was that actually a house telephone? Yes, we actually still have one of those. I know there's a lot of people who've gotten rid of theirs, but we still have an actual home phone. It's another fun thing about being set up in your dining room. To do your Facebook Lives. Okay, I'm going to take a break from that just for a little bit. I think that pretty much that cover is really really good about getting it in one coat. So I really like that color for that reason. Matter of fact, this might be the color that I did my very first. Was it this, or this may have been the color that I did my very first pair of flip-flops. It was my very first door hanger. So this may be the exact color now that I think about it. Okay, you know what? I'm going to leave that in there, and I am going to get a Filbert tip brush. And Filbert tip is just, it's a flat brush. You can see it's flat, but on the end, it's not a flat tip brush. It's actually round. So it's called a Filbert tip. Okay, I am going to do the daisies next. Now, y'all may think I am absolutely positively out of my mind, but I am going to do the daisies in a neon yellow. A neon yellow for these. I am going for super bright and sunny and just screams, I'm having fun over here. So this is what we're going for with this particular pair of flip-flops tonight. Bright and happy. So I am just going to put these on the petals. Now you may be wondering, well, Sandy, if you're doing the petals yellow, what are you going to do the centers? We're working on that. They may be a combination of a darker yellow and kind of a brown color. So, but I wanted these to be just a really bright, or at least this one. Now the other one, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I may do it white and flip-flop, or flip-flop. Oh boy. Wow, y'all, that is just that is just loud. Oh my goodness. I wasn't kidding. Let's scream it loud and proud. Summer's here, right? All right. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this neon yellow and I am going to do the center of this one in neon yellow. Okay, so that one, the center is going to be neon yellow. So now, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with What am I going to do with the petals of that one? Well, hmm, I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I'm going to go with a coral color. And I may actually use this coral color for the center of this one. Let's see how this looks. I may do this and go, nah, and cover over it, but we'll see. Hmm. I'm not sure that I've ever seen a coral colored daisy, but these are my summer flip-flops. I still have to consider what color I want to do the strap because I haven't quite come up with what I want to do the strap yet. So if you've got any suggestions on what color to do the strap, I am open to ideas. All right, now I'm just going to jump back real quick. I'll flip this around a little bit and jump back and just go over my neon again, just one more time. Just make sure it's covered well. May have to get just a little more neon. Can you imagine if you put this on your door and then put a black light in your porch light? Yes, I am that person who wakes up in the middle of the night and thoughts that come into my head, you're like, where did that come from? Ideas like, what if you paint a door hanger in neon colors and then put a black light in your porch light? What would that look like? I suppose it would get the attention of those passing by. That's pretty bright, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, that is pretty bright. Okay, I am gonna start on my little flowers here, and some of them are not so little, but I'm gonna jump in here and see what we can come up with. I am going to do one of them in pink, and this is dragon fruit. I really like this color pink, so I'm trying to figure out the best place to put this one. Should I put it at the top or should I put it at the bottom? I'm gonna put it here. This will not be the only color on these flowers, so we're going to do some lines and you'll see how you can make that just sort of make those petals appear. I'm actually going to be using a flat brush. In the class I took, we used a round brush and we just did lines, but I was watching somebody the other day do some with do some flowers with a flat brush, and they used a couple of different colors on the flat brush. So I am going to go for that tonight and see what it looks like. All right, so this one is Purple Pizzazz. Purple Pizzazz. And I am going to paint this one up here. I'm going to move him down just a little bit, so that way you can see the Purple Pizzazz. If I wasn't doing a flower this color, the straps might be super cool looking as a purple pizzazz. Now, I went really big with these flowers. You don't have to go this big on floral designs or floral prints. You can keep the flowers smaller, but I just went really big with this one. The ones I did on my letter M were probably about half my hand in width, and so they were not quite as big as these. These are, of course, my letter M didn't have as much space to cover either, so you could make them smaller and add more flowers, so that way you could add even more color. So just depends on what you're looking for, what you have in mind when you're doing this. All right, I'm going to do one more over, just kind of a light coat, not anything major, because when I grab my flat tip brush to do this one, I'm going to have to add a little bit more to that one. I'm also going to do the purple pizzazz one more time and get just a little more color there. I keep forgetting, pull him down just a little so it makes it easier to see. As you can see, there's some what I call move marks. It's where you end up shifting the paint, but that's okay. When I add in the other color to go with the purple, you won't even see that. So I'm not extremely worried about that at the moment. All right, I'm going to lay that brush down and I'm going to go ahead and grab my flat tip flat brush. And what I'm going to do with the pink, I am going to add a little bit of watermelon in with this. And so you're probably thinking, watermelon? Just hang with me here. I know watermelon is kind of a red color, but it has just a little bit of pink to it. So we're going to see how this turns out, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start and just go around. And I'm going to hit every other one right now. So I'm going to go this one. And I don't really have one here. I can kind of pretend, but I think I'm just going to go back and do this one. I didn't really bring that one down heavy, so I'm going to pull that one down. And then I'm going to hit this partial one, okay? Now I'm going to go into the center, and I'm going to start here. And then I'm going to do over here, and I'm going to go the opposite way this time. And then I'm going to hit here. All right, now I'm going to go one more time right here in the middle and just kind of bring one in there. Okay, so there's my, oh, I'm off the screen. I am so sorry, y'all. So I basically just did comma marks, okay? And that's what created that flower. Now for my purple pizzazz, and I'm going to shift this one up here so I can work on him. For my purple pizzazz, I keep going back and forth. I'm going to try and get a little more of my purple here. I'm going to try a lighter purple. Whoops, a lighter purple. This one is called Purple Cow. So I'm going to try Purple Cow. Now, if Purple Cow doesn't work, I have a blue on standby, okay? So we're going to go with the blue possibly if the Purple Cow doesn't work out. So I'm just dipping part of my brush, get my napkin out of the way, in the purple, and then I'm taking one corner and dipping in the light purple, okay? So see how it's light on one end? And then I'm just making a comma mark, okay? And I'm not doing every one, I'm skipping. And the reason why I'm doing that is so the next time I come back around, I can overlap. and create the petal look. That one, there we go. And then I'm just going to go inside, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to bring one. I'm going to start off like I'm over here, and then I'm going to end it there, and then I'm going to do one in the middle. And then I'm going to add one little one, just a little swoop there. Okay, so there's my purple flower. Now, as far as our daisies go, I am going to do some polka dots. And I know you're probably thinking, ooh, polka dots. Yes, we're going to add some polka dots. And what I'm going to do, just checking on all the tech here and making sure everything still looks good. Okay. All right, what I'm going to do here for the polka dots, I'm going to take a pencil. I know I used chalk before, but this time I'm going to take pencil. And I'm going to take one of my paints and flip him upside down. And I'm just going to trace around it, okay? Just to get a little circle. Now, I'm going to kind of work in what I call triangles. And I got to keep in mind that I've got my flip-flop edges here too. So what I mean by the triangle is I put two here, and so I drew one here, and it created a triangle. So I've got two here. I'm going to put one here and create a triangle. Two here, so I'm going to bring one here, create a triangle. Oops. Nobody said I was, extremely gifted in drawing circles. And I'm just going to draw these around. They don't have to be perfect because I am going to be painting them in. So working around my flip-flop straps here is becoming a little challenging. Okay, now I'm going to move this a little bit, and I'm going to do the same for this one up here. Now remember, this one is smaller. I didn't do this one as big, so I probably should have found a little bit smaller circle, but that's okay. We're just going to work with what we've got here. We can make this happen. Maybe we only have one polka dot per leaf on this one. And that's okay. All right. So now, put him back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a slightly smaller filbert tip, and I am going to make the polka dots a cream color. Okay. This is called buttermilk. That's the color I'll be using, is buttermilk. And I am just going to work on just a few polka dots in the buttermilk color. We'll see how that works. If buttermilk doesn't look too good, then we'll change and we will do white. But with the bright colors, I thought maybe the buttermilk would look really cool. Because everybody always thinks of the beach when they think about flip-flops. So I was like, well, if we do a little bit of a buttermilk color, we'll have a sand color going. Of course, I mean, we also have white sand, so that would work too. And what I'm doing with the polka dots, I'm just making kind of comma motions. So that kind of keeps me in the lines. and I don't have to worry about some major boo-boos if I just think comma. Making a comma motion. Or parentheses, if you think more along the lines, if that is a better visual, parentheses. That way, and then that way. I've also heard people say smiley face and frowny face. So a smiley face, and then you'd come around and do a frowny face. All right, those will definitely have to have second coats, especially going over those bright, bright colors. So anyway, we'll see how that turns out. I don't know. I still may go over them with white. If I do, then they will be white and show up really well on that fluorescent. I could have put green. That's another option. Just going to touch up the polka dots here. And then we're going to go back and work a little bit more on another layer on our flowers here. And what I'm going to do with the flowers this time, I'm going to take just a little bit of white and I'm going to put in with the dragon fruit. Is that what that one was? I think that was dragon fruit. So I'm going to go back and find, actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that with that one. I am going to do this one with a round brush. So I'm going to get a round brush, round tip brush, or round brush. I'm just going to mix the white and the dragon fruit and lighten it up just a little bit. Now that I've got the swooshes in there, I'm just going to come back and just add just little comma marks around where my swooshes are. Don't you love the technical terms? Technical terms here, swooshes. All right, and that's all I'm going to do to that one. I'm going to add a little white to the purple pizzazz, and I'm going to do the same thing there. Even though actually that one may be better if I just do white by itself. So here we're going to just do a drop or two of white, and I am going to just take a little bit of white and just go around and do a few of these marks on this one. Okay, just to add to that one a little bit. All right, now I have not forgotten about our leaves and our vines. We do need to get to those. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, and I keep going back and forth. I've got Lighthouser green, but I really, I would much rather have the medium Hauser green. But I pulled this one, so we're just gonna stay with it. Not gonna change captains in midstream here. We're gonna stay with the captain. We're gonna stick with this one. All right, now for this, I'm gonna get another flat brush. and a flat tip brush. And here is why. With the flat tip brush, I can put it long ways and create my vine without it being, if I wanted it really, really thin, I could use a round tip brush. But I am just going to work there, and then this will allow me to also work on the leaves and get them done pretty quick with the flat side of it. Now, some of you may be looking and going, yeah, but you didn't cover all of that with the sea breeze. It's okay. We can do this one of two ways. Either I can come back and touch up with the sea breeze, or I can just go back and add a little thickness to my vine in various places, like this one. Maybe that leaf is actually part of that vine. See how I did that? Now this one might be a little trickier. We're just going to thicken him up, and then we're going to thicken him up again here. And so, you know, vines are not perfectly symmetrical or the same all the way up and down in their growing process. Okay, so there's one vine. Now I had one down here. This one might actually work better if I do the round, but I'm going to give it a shot and see how this comes out. So this one was just a little curlicue, and so I'm actually going to make it a little bigger than I first drew it. But I remembered I had one down here, so we're just going to work on that one. And then I had one here who came out and down and around. And I do have a few places on the sea breeze that I see I do need to touch up. So, but what I'll do with that is I'll come back with a small brush and work on the touch up. So now this vine is actually pretty small, but I think I picked a small enough brush that I can actually do the vine. Oop, needed to stretch him out just a little bit more. All right, now these are just little heart leaves. And so all I'm doing is just making a little heart shape with my brush. Just each side, making a half a heart. Ooh, there was a cold breeze come from somewhere. I was out a little earlier, it was cooling off, so the back door got opened and all of a sudden I felt cool air, so. All right, so there's another one. And I'm gonna work on, I do have one more flower here, y'all. I forgot completely about this one little flower here toward the middle that I need to decide on a color on. Need to give him a color. Don't want to do him as a coral because I've already done coral. Oh, Started to say I could do yellow, but I've got this neon yellow over here, and I don't want to clash the yellows. All right, so this is a green leaf, and I'm just going to carefully go around my petals here and get my green leaf in. And I'm going to work on my other green leaf up here, and I may need to move this down just a little bit. Don't forget, if you sprinkle the love, we are very close to drawing a winner for the Mailbox Delight. So if you sprinkle the love for this video, comment sprinkled, and then I will be drawing a winner this week because we are ending out the month of March. And so we will be drawing a winner pretty soon for our March Mailbox Delight. All right, so there's another big leaf. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get just a little bit more green here. I've got one more vine over here on this side that I had put into place. So I'm going to work on wrapping it around and getting it curly cued. And I may add a leaf to it as well. No, I did not actually draw that in, so I'll probably have to go over that with a few coats, but that's okay. And I can still add things like I don't have anything over here, so I could actually add a leaf coming off of this one. So if I bring him around and then come up and make him look like he's coming off of the flip-flop. And again, I'll have to darken him up because he did not get the lighter coat of the blue. So, but that's okay. All right, so there it is beginning to come into view what we have been working on. Now, before I go too terribly far in doing the touch-ups and darkening up the leaves, what I'm going to do is grab another color green. This one's going to be a lighter color, and I'm going to work on varying up the color just a little bit, just giving a little shadow or shade. Ooh, I almost put that with white. All right, so I'm going to do basically the same thing I did with the other flat brush. I'm going to dip it in the green. I did not rinse my brush, okay? But I'm just going to dip a little bit in that lighter green, that citron green. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it down and just kind of pull. And it's going to semi-blend, but you'll also see some of it just stand out. And it'll just be little highlights along the way. So I'm going to flip my brush around and just pull it to me a little. And just highlight a little bit here and a little bit there. So that way it looks like, maybe the sunshine is shining on that one a little more. And I know it's a pair of flip-flops, but still. You want them to look happy and sunny and part of the whole summer experience. Now, what I'm going to do with the leaves, I'm just going to take and just kind of run a little bit along, and I may have too much of the dark green. Yep, I've got too much of the dark green. All right, I'm going to wipe a little bit off on paper towel and get some of the light green and just kind of go through. Ooh, it's not wanting to blend so well on the big leaves. Well, that's okay. There are other ways to get this blended. We can create just some streaks in it like that and give it a little variation. I'm going to go back to my vines here and go ahead and get those done. Just give a little streak here and a little streak there. Give it just a little color variation. Some of it has a little variation already because of where I did not completely paint over them. But of course, that's not green variation. That's a variation because of the yellow chalk and me not covering. If you can hear the dog drinking, he is undoubtedly very thirsty. And now I'm just going to take some of the green, darker green, and go back over. Well, it's called Hauser light green, but it is a darker green compared to the citron. And what I may do is just hit a little bit here along the edge, just like I did with the flowers. Just make kind of a comma motion. Just give our little our heart leaves, a little bit of a light color there on the edge. If you notice, I'm not rinsing my brush out after all of this, so I'm just dipping from one to the other and then just making my little comma marks or my little swoosh marks. Little swoosh marks here and there. Trying to see how that one turned out. I can't really see how that one went. I may need my bigger flat tip brush for this one, so we'll work on that momentarily. All right. Oh, let's go ahead and get another coat on these. And I'm still thinking about the polka dots. I may go back and do them white. Just looking at them and thinking, I don't know. Sometimes looking at them on camera will help me to decide, but I am not sure. I'm thinking white would probably look better. So I think I'm going to go back and do those white. So we'll get those in just a minute. Okay. Oh, one more leaf. And I still have to come up with a color for this flower. This was the only one that I was not decided upon when I was picking all the colors earlier. And I'm like, oh, I'll think of something before time. Oh, y'all, if you only knew. If you only knew some of the craziness. Ah, here's a bigger flat tip. Let's see if we can make this work a little better with a bigger flat tip. So I'm dipping in there, dipping in the lighter. Nope, I didn't get enough of the lighter. Still not enough of that lighter color. Okay, well, that's more along the lines of what I'm looking for. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it's closer. So we're going to go with that. And I don't have a big leaf down here, so I could come back and actually put a big leaf in with this flower here, or I could add, well, I have to be careful of that split. The split is not technically there, but in your mind, imagine that those two flip-flops are split. All right, that one looks a little more like what I want it to look like. All right, let's see if I can get this one to do. Okay. And then this one. And I'm just going to go that way. And then I'm going to go a little bit more that way. And maybe put a streak or two up the middle. Okay. All right, for the moment, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to add any more leaves. I say that. All right, now I've got to come up with a color for this one. What about a blue? I think I'm going to go with a blue, a darker blue. This one's called True Blue. So we're going to see how this looks. I may do this and I may come back later and paint over it and do something else, but let's see how this looks. This one is a small one, so it's not going to show up a whole lot. I say that and then I look on the other side and go, oh yeah, he comes over here too. Whoops. This one is not going to be as easy to do my little comma or swoosh marks with, but we're going to get it, okay? We're going to get it. All right, so what I rinsed my brush. I wasn't supposed to rinse my brush. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to grab this Sea Breeze color for the other half of this, okay? So I'm just going to dip back in my original Sea Breeze, just dip the end, and I'm just going to swoosh there and swoosh there. Make him look a little better. And then come back and get this one here. Oop. A little more on that swoosh. All right, now I'm going to add a little one there and a partial one there. And maybe just a little touch up there. Okay, that one's a little harder because it is right on the edge there of that strap, but that's okay, we made it work. And then we're just going to take our baby wipe and get the darker blue off of the strap. All right, now I am going to go back and put white on the flowers for the polka dots. Which I shouldn't have to do as much white. Well, I say that. I may actually have to go over it a couple of times. Because even though the buttermilk is a lighter color, the white sometimes will still show the lighter colors through. Okay, now I'm going to slide this over here and work on. And again, I'm just kind of making a comma or a parentheses motion to fill in these polka dots. A lot of times you'll see me when I'm doing polka dots, I will use sponge pouncers because it makes it quick and easy and I don't have to worry about staying in the lines. But since there's so much color on this, I decided I would just draw, which we ended up doing that in the class too. We just ended up drawing our circles rather than using sponges for our polka dots. All right, well, we're almost to a point where we can start doing some outlines and finishing up the last little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on, yeah, I think I like the white better. I think I like the white better. Hey, you never know until you try, you know? Okay, now we need to start outlining and getting some just little highlight and outline marks to our flowers and stuff. And I know you're thinking, what in the world are you doing now? Well, it just kind of hit me. Add one more color to this one. And while I'm at it, I'm going to add a little more or some more color to this one. There we go. See, we just kind of look as we go along and then we just go from there. Y'all, I have filled up every little container in this egg carton. So I have got to move to the lid now. All right, I'm just going to start with it's a pretty good, I guess for me it's a medium tip black round brush, not a black round brush, medium tip round brush, and I am using black just to outline and go around. Now, because the flip-flops are positioned the way they are, yes, I started out with a straight line, but I'm going to change it to a squiggly line around my center. Anyway, as I was saying, because of the way the flip-flops are positioned, I'm having to focus a little more on getting a straight line. Now, some of these lines are going to be thicker than others. It's okay. Some things I like that look, and with this being a floral, the thicker and thinner lines I like a lot when it comes to something like this. So if I can pick my hand up and have a lighter touch, then I will. But because I'm having to kind of hold my hand in the air, I don't really have any place to rest it. I'm having to watch. I'm having to settle for a little thicker line than what I would like, but that's okay. I could have, I need a line going down through there. I could have used my really thin line, but really thin round brush, but I want to save it and use it for my vines. So now as I get up here, I can put my finger on, just kind of plant my pinky on the door hanger and let it kind of be um, a steady point for me as I'm going around my flowers. I couldn't do that so much with this one. Now, while I'm here with the black, what I'm just going to do is add just a few, very few little marks into the black one, or into the pink flower, okay? Not going to do very many, just a few. All right, I'm going to move up to this flower and hope I can get my pinky down on this one a little better. So I'm hoping that it will Means I'll end up with a little steadier line. Eh, no, don't do the leaf yet, Sandy. Save that one. Okay, so we're just creating the outline of, now this one, the petal is on top of the leaf, so I'm using that thicker round brush for it. Okay, now to go, oh, I should have started with the center. And this one, I'm going to keep it straight. I'm not going to do a squiggly line on this one. Okay, so there's that one. All right, now I'm going to do the little blue one here. And I'm just going to go around this edge and around. Okay. Oh, one more. Move him down. And we're going to get the edges of this one done. And sometimes when you're doing these outlines, it helps if you try not to think about it too much. Less focus, more work, I guess. Okay, and I just added a few little black lines there. This one probably doesn't really need a whole lot, so I'll just add a couple there. All right, now I'm going to switch to a much skinnier round brush, a very tiny round brush. And this is what I'm going to use to go around my vines, because I just want a really thin line going around them. Yes, I have to concentrate more. Sometimes it's not too bad, but when you've got this much paint and this many different colors, and you're constantly sticking your finger in paint somewhere, you're going to end up with more of a mosaic type door hanger than you are actually what you planned on, because you're going to have all your paints smeared together. So I'm just trying to focus, make sure to keep my hand out of, yep, and I've already done it. Put it in the black, and then this is why we keep baby wipes handy. All right, so just trying to keep the pressure light. And in this part, this one is moving a little faster because I can anchor my pinky, which helps to control my brush. Just work on getting my outside lines done here. And we are almost Still have to paint the straps, but we are almost through with all of the floral stuff. All right, so I'm just gonna I mean ever so lightly, put just a little streak down both of those. All right, now I'm gonna turn it just a little bit and get this spine here. Just trying to keep the pinky planted so that I have more control over the line. As I am finishing out the vines. I have a new box that I'm going to be promoting and getting all put together here this week, so keep an eye out for that. You know, they talk about the winds of March or the March winds. You know, it's kind of been crazy because this month it seems like there's been things coming up business wise, opportunities and possibilities, and I feel like the winds of change are blowing, and it's just kind of weird because you know, you don't want to jump too fast. Um, and that's in anything in life, not just business. But you don't want to jump too fast. And so um, I am I've been spending a good bit of time the last few weeks thinking through some things and looking at things and asking questions and trying to make wise decisions on whether or not I'm ready to jump off and do some additional things in my business here. With that said, I would appreciate prayers for wisdom. All right, I am just going to take and run a small black line down the middle of this vine rather than go through the outside or trace the outside of it, and just give it a little bit different look. Changes can be good things, changes can be scary things. And when you're looking at possibly adding things or uh, even changing up things, even if you just want to make a small change to something, it can be it can be scary and nerve-wracking at times because you always have to ask, you know, will people like this? Will they will they be excited about a difference, or will they go, oh no, you've changed? So you have all these questions you have to ask yourself when you're looking at even the simplest thing when it comes to a business. All right, so make sure I'm not going off camera here. I am just going around the bigger leaves. Actually, these could have been done with the bigger brush. That would probably be I think I'm through with all my small leaves. So I'm just going to go back and get my bigger brush real quick and come around so that way I don't have to come back and do any touch up with the green. I can just keep moving. All right. There's that one. And we're going to get around this one. And, oh, one more. One more. And we are getting really close to the finish here, y'all. Okay. Now then, I'm going to go back to the really skinny brush. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little bit of the black. And I am just going to run, I may have to get some more black. I'm just going to run a little, just a little accent mark around on my daisies here. Just a little bit, not anything major. But I wanted the smaller brush. And I actually want them a little bit thinner than what I am actually doing them. So I need to work on my, this is where you have to work on holding the brush lightly. All right, now this one up here, slide it over so you can see. This one up here, see if I can get, still not quite as thin as I want them, but it's okay. We're gonna let him go there. We're gonna let him go there. And stuck my finger in the paint. That's okay. We have had a baby white pandy all night long, y'all. Just for those simple things. All right, now I need to figure out a color for the straps. I don't know. Does anybody have a suggestion? Throw it in the comments real quick if you do. And this one takes a little bit longer. I know this one is gone a little longer tonight. And it's because there's so much detail in this one. You know what? I think I may do I may do orange on the here, we're gonna go with this filbert tip. We're gonna do orange on here and see how this looks. Like I said, I wanted it to be bright, so wanted it to be bright, springy, summery, neon colors, bright colors to me are really cool. So we're just going to go with bright orange for our straps. Could have gone with a sunshine yellow, but since we had the neon yellow, and I do have the coral here, and the strap actually passes by the coral flower, But the thing about the coral flower is that it's just enough of a variation that it doesn't like blend with the bright orange. So got a little too close to my black there. That's okay. I can paint that out. You also take a baby wipe and just get that up and then just keep going. So either way you want to go. I'm going to do an outside um, outline on these straps, so I'm not super worried about that because it's going to get covered up when I do that outline. And I'm going to do that here in just a second. I think I say that. Watch my orange not be dry good. Okay, I actually think the orange is dry. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a paint pen for this one. We've used paint all the way around tonight on all of our outlines, but I'm just going to take a paint pen real quick, and I'm just going to go around the edge and just outline. Just outline the flip-flop stripes. Straps, not stripes. Straps. And we will be all done. And you can add some little squigglies and stuff in the in-between places for more decoration. And I may go back and add those in the final details. Just going to run around here real quick so that way you can see what it looks like with the flip-flop straps outlined. And then what I'll do is off camera, I will finish up the some of the little side details, just where you put some little lines around the edges and things like that. The little fine points that I do from time to time. Okay, there we go. There's our floral flip-flops. All right, thank y'all for hanging out with me. I know it was a little bit longer tonight. Floral patterns always take just a little bit more time, but I do appreciate y'all hanging out. And I will finish up the fine details and I will post a finished picture tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow on the all the pages, so that way you can see, and probably underneath the video clip, so that way you can see. I hope y'all have a great week. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Don't forget, if you sprinkle the love, to write sprinkle in the comments, and I will be drawing for a Mailbox Delight winner this week. Also, new box promo will be starting this week. I'm still doing the paint party box. I have not gotten away from the paint party box. That will be coming up around mid-April. But the first part of the month, I will be introducing a brand new box. So I'm excited to show y'all that. So just keep watching. Again, have a great evening, and I hope you have a great week. God bless.